Decide what's democracy these days? You decide when a country is free? I think America would be pretty surprised to hear that you had all the rights suspended.
The rule of law and the rule of majority is a concept which percolates through all systems. Nevertheless, in building nations, you cannot have a democratic election. You can have leadership, whether it's one or more. However, even if they are called a council, a governor council, council of governors, Dr. Pachachi is one of the people who knows how to do these things.
Sabah al-Mukhtar, thank you very much indeed. Now let me ask Adnan Pachachi, please, to speak against the motion.
Thank you. Practical measures are required and not wishful thinking fantasies about dictators and strong men. The people of Iraq have endured over the years every kind of dictatorship and absolutism. I know. I was there. Now they have had enough. I assure you, they have no stomach for yet another dictator. But implicit in the call for a strong man is the belief or the notion that the Iraqis are somehow condemned by fate to live either in chaos and anarchy or in slavery under a totalitarian dictatorship. Democracy is our only hope for salvation. Contrary to what some people think, democracy has not failed in Iraq. The sectarian violence raging in the country came as a result of a distortion of democratic principles by the decision of the occupying powers to establish a political system based on sectarian divisions. But I believe there is hope to reverse this trend and return to the secularism under which the people of Iraq prospered and lived in peace and harmony for generations. Well, change will have to come by democratic means, through the electoral ballot. I hope that the next elections, in about 3 years' time, will bring about a fundamental change. If not, we have to try again and again, because democracy, with all its imperfections and its cumbersome inefficiency, is preferable to the rule of despots who mortgage the future of their people and subordinate the interest of the country to their ambitions. Thank you.
Adnan Pachachi, thank you very much indeed. You say democracy hasn't failed. Shortly before we came into the studio here, an American commander in Iraq, Admiral William Fallon, was asked about democracy emerging from the kind of violence that takes place on a daily basis in Iraq. And he replied, it would be wise to temper our expectations. In other words, it's over.
No, I don't think it's over. I think it has had its difficulties.
Difficulties? There's blood running in the streets.
Yes,
this is not just difficulties.
Democracy has nothing to do with the blood.
But the blood is preventing the democracy from taking place, isn't it?
Yes.
What does democracy mean when you have militias ruling the streets? When you're in fear of your life?
Well, the fact that
when 20% of the population is either dead or on the move.
The fact that there are militias ruling the streets is not because of democracy, but in spite of it.
You say Iraqi people have had enough of dictators. Haven't they had enough of the situation that's going on now?
But there is no other alternative. We can't just give up. We can't give up.
The alternative is a strong man, isn't it?
No. As I said, the strong man, we have had experience of strongmen for many, many years, and they are all dismal failures.
Adnan Pachachi, thank you very much indeed. Now, can I ask, please, Robert Baer to speak for the motion?
I support the motion fully that Iraq needs to return to a dictatorship, a benign dictatorship, but nonetheless a dictatorship. I need to explain, first of all, that I was a participant in this fiasco, which is now Iraq. I was, in the mid-90s, chief of station, CIA chief of station in northern Iraq. And we were examining under what conditions we could remove Saddam Hussein without an invasion. We looked at how Saddam Hussein controlled Iraq. We went down to the very companies, the battalions, the Republican Guards. We talked to the Shia, we talked to everybody. And what was clear was that Saddam Hussein held Iraq together by force, namely T-72 tanks, Mi-24 helicopters, and the Mukhabarat. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't pleasant. We know more about Saddam than anybody would ever want to know, his brutality. But that was the nature of Iraq. In 1995, March 4th, 10 o'clock, we were supposed to launch a coup against Saddam, which included 5 military generals and officers. And our plan was to leave the military in power, the Sunni minority